After losing 7 kilos in 7 weeks last year, I've become convinced that most men spend too much time worrying about the wrong things when it comes to rapid fat loss. They're cutting out entire food groups, adding extra cardio sessions, and pushing through feeling terrible every day while completely overlooking the thing that would actually make it work. If you've never seriously thought about hunger management as a skill, this could be the likely reason you've never achieved rapid fat loss. And let me explain why. When most men decide they want to lose fat, they don't really have a plan. They slash their calories as low as possible, copy what someone in the gym is doing, and just go harder than they've ever gone before. And because they're doing something different, almost anything is going to work. And in the first couple of weeks, the scale drops, they get excited, and it feels like they finally cracked it. But what makes this interesting is they never stop to think about what's actually working. Because in their head, they're eating less, moving more, they're losing fat, and they're assuming that that specific diet, the extra cardio and cutting out the carbs is the reason for it. But in reality, it's something much simpler, which has been driving the progress the entire time. And the drops can be so quick in those first few weeks, half a kilo there, half a kilo here, that they never stop to think about what's actually happening. And the problem is they've built that early progress on willpower, and willpower is the least reliable tool you can use for rapid fat loss, because it's going to run out, and when it does, everything stops. And when it does run out, hunger builds, energy crashes, the scale stops moving, and that's when men just hit a wall. And they start looking for answers with a better program, a new diet, some supplements that's going to fix the problem, and they can't figure out why the results they had 2 weeks ago has stopped. And this is where I want to introduce the hunger management as a skill, because if we know that a calorie deficit is what drives fat loss, then the only thing that matters is how long you can stay in it. And the thing that ends most guys' diets, the thing that derails every single rapid fat loss attempt, isn't a lack of effort, it's the hunger. And the main way you manage hunger inside a deficit, knowing how to eat high volume foods and pick the ones that work with your lifestyle. You're not relying on willpower or discipline, you're building meals that fill your plate and fill your stomach. Because at the end of each meal, if you're sitting there wanting more food, craving more food, the likelihood is this calorie deficit, which we know you need to be in, is not one that's actually serving you. A lot of men, especially ones that want fast results, will think that the goal is to eat as little as possible. And if they can cut 500 calories, then they will. They cut some more, they add some cardio on, and they assume the more aggressive they are, the faster the fat comes off. But here's what the aggressive cut always costs you. The hunger climbs, your energy crashes, and you're craving things that you'd never normally touch. And eventually you hit a point where you can't stick to the plan. The goal isn't to be in the most aggressive deficit possible. It's to make a significant deficit feel manageable. And the way you do that is by what you eat, not just how much. High volume, high protein foods are the entire strategy to getting in shape with rapid fat loss. Lean meats, lean veggies, potatoes, Greek yogurt, fruit, salad bowls which are bigger than your head, Ninja Creamies that fill you up at the end of the day, or yogurt bowls which again are the size of your head. If you can generally eat large amounts of food and still be inside a big calorie deficit, that is what I mean by volume eating as a skill. A bowl of potatoes, a big portion of lean meat, and a pile of veggies, that's a plate that looks filling, feels, and it might only be 600 calories versus a small portion of something calorie dense which leaves you hungry an hour later. So many people will end up in a deficit eating a protein bar and a protein shake and then wondering why they're hungry 20 minutes later. The same calories but different results is why we look at volume eating completely differently. Your protein specifically is going to sit around about 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. This is the most satiating macronutrient you can eat. It keeps you fuller for longer than anything else, and it also protects your muscle while you're trying to strip the body fat. These two things, volume eating and protein, is what is going to make the hunger manageable. And when hunger is manageable, you actually stick to the plan for the first time in your life. So let me show you exactly what I did over 7 weeks and how this looked like. I had 1 calorie target, my body weight in pounds multiplied by 10. For me, that was around 1800 calories a day. Not 1200 trying to be aggressive, just 1800 calories built around a high protein, high volume meals. I trained 3 times a week with resistance training, 45 minutes a session with compound lifts, doing squats, deadlifts, leg presses, bench presses, dumbbell presses. The gym is there for me to preserve the muscle mass. I'm not trying to burn fat. The deficit is going to do that for me in the volume eating. And with my steps, I was deliberate about them. I was averaging around about 4 to 5K normally. So I added on 2 to 3K and just decided to walk my way to fat loss. I had a walking pad, which I got extra steps on, and just made the effort to get out a little bit more in the day. By doing this, it meant that I didn't have to do cardio and not have to ruin my appetite through loads of high expenditure cardio, which makes me hungry. I was also really deliberate about how I track progress. I weighed myself daily. Not to obsess over the number, but look over the trend. I took pictures when I needed to as well to make sure that if weight wasn't moving, the physique was changing with it, and making sure that obviously it was in the same lighting and the same times each week, because the mirror can lie when you see yourself in different lights. During a fat loss phase, your emotion's going to go up and down. The data in front of you doesn't. So you have the trend and you can trust that rather than relying on how you feel on that day. I was never really ravenous. I was never really feeling like I was suffering. Don't get me wrong, I was hungry through phases, but in the 7 7 weeks where I lost 7 kilos, the simple structure of what I've just talked you through is why it was a success. Everything I've just described, the calorie targets, the protein strategy, the volume, the steps, the minimal training program, that's exactly what we built Shred 7 around, because I wanted a system I could hand to any busy man and have him get the same result without the guesswork. If you want the exact calorie target, protein target, training and step goal for your body weight, we go live with the next round of Shred 7 very soon with a link in our bio to join the next round. You'll be the first to know when the next intake opens, and if you're willing to manage your hunger for 50 days, the fat loss part takes care of itself. The link's below, go and join and potentially see you in the program.